said, oh, they moved. They're on La Cienega Boulevard. So we went, and I remember I walked in. The first thing I saw was Lord Jagannath. I'd never seen him before. I had no idea who he was, but I felt at home. And I know some of you will appreciate this. The first person I ever spoke to was Tamal Krsna Maharaj. And he's my Vartma Pradarshika guru. He took me under his wing. He and Vishnu Janaswami would come down to Laguna Beach and chant regularly. And every time he would see me, he would use a different approach. Sometimes he would be gentle and say, wouldn't you like to come and live in the temple and really get a full dose? And sometimes he would yell at me, and sometimes he would try and trick me, all with love. And for 3 months, I was resistant. I wanted to keep surfing. I wanted to keep doing the things I was doing. I was a raw foodist. I didn't want to give up eating raw food and eat sugar. It was like, whoa, how can you guys eat sugar? That was my first service, was I gave a 55-pound can of honey to the temple. And, but as I was sharing with some brothers here, sometimes when you get drawn to Krishna and you have resistance, he very mercifully just takes everything away from you. So that was happening. As I got more attracted to Krishna, my friends liked me less. And so finally, after 3 months of having excuses of why I wouldn't move in the temple, I was on Pacific Coast Highway hitchhiking. I had my pack on my back with all my possessions, and I was going to go someplace isolated and fast and pray and ask for, clarity. And Srila Tamal Krsna Maharaj and Vishnu Jana Maharaj pulled around the corner in the Sankirtan van. And they pulled up, and he said, so now what's your excuse? And I said, well, I don't have one. And he said, well, I dare you to come live in the temple for 2 weeks. And I have this, little bit of a warrior part. And I thought, okay, that's a dare, I'll take it. And so I said, but I'm not shaving my head. And he said, that's all right, just come live. So I went, and the first night we went out on Sankirtan on Hollywood Boulevard, and I said, could I wear a dhoti? And he said, when you shave your head. He was so expert. And I don't know of anyone who's made more people into devotees than Srila Tamal Krsna Maharaj. He's just amazing with that. So the next day I wore my Levi's. I felt totally out of place. And the next day I was in the bathroom, and Durlab Prabhu, who we were just talking about, was shaving somebody up. I said, all right, do it. And I knew this is not 2 weeks. This is what I've been looking for. So interesting, because this is about Prabhupada. I had this desire to be with a guru and have close association. And I cook and I do body work, and I just felt like I want to do that for Prabhupada. And he was coming from New York, and the word was he didn't have a servant. The person who had been his cook and body worker was going to stay, and they were going to pick a new one. And Vishnu Janaswami, great holy saint, he would always just fill us up with nectar. And one day he said, if you pray to Lord Nityananda for something, even if you're not qualified, he'll give it to you if it's good for you. He'll bless you just with the request. So I prayed to be Prabhupada's servant. I was new. We got initiated fairly soon then. I had taken first initiation a month after coming in the temple, but I didn't have Brahmin initiation. I wasn't allowed to cook. But I wanted this, so I prayed. And then I forgot about it because I figured I wasn't going to get it. And I didn't. Gupendra Prabhu got the job. And then one day, Mohanananda Das, who opened up the Gurukula here years ago, he and I were real close, and he came and he said, I have a secret to tell you. I said, really, what is it? He said, I can't tell you. I said, no, well, you have to. You told me that much, you have to. And he said, okay, but you can't let on that you know about this. And he said, Upendra's going to Australia, and they're strongly considering you to be his replacement. So for 2 weeks, waiting for this to happen, I was the most fixed up brahmachari in the temple. I was, Prabhu, what can I do? How can I serve you? And then one day Gargamuni, who was temple president, or maybe Tamal Krishna Maharaj was temple president, but they worked together. He called me in his office. He said, I have a service for you. I don't know if you're going to want to do it, but, said, Prabhu, I'll do anything you want. And he said, well, Upendra's going to Australia and we're going to ask you to be Prabhupada's cook and servant. So that's how I got that job. And I recommended this, and I heartily recommend, if you want something that's good for your devotional service, pray to Lord Nityananda and he'll give it to you. Whatever it is, as long as it's not contrary to devotional service.